Alright. Back after a dinner break. Here we go. So let's see. Something tells me this little girl ain't what she's being led to believe. I think she's either a computer program or an avatar of the god. Or both.
Nahida! We're back! You're back early today. Did you find something new? Sort of. We're mostly sure now that we're not in a time loop. And we also aren't in the real world. But at the same time, we have a new question. Leaving the city. As far as I remember, you've mentioned your plans to do that twice before.
But never said anything further.
We did? But we don't remember anything. What happened after we talked about those plans? What did we say when we got back? Let me think. I don't think you ever actually told me what the outcome was. Oh, it's probably more accurate to say that both times you never came back the whole night. But you two sometimes stay out the entire night anyway, so at the time, I didn't think too much about it.
So we may have somehow broken out, but then ended up back.
It is true that sometimes we lose track of time during our investigations. Before we know it, it'll already be the next day. But still, neither of us remember anything about leaving town. Really? That's kind of strange. In theory, I should have already awakened all your memories. Yep. Something here's definitely fishy. Let's get to the bottom of this tomorrow.
And there it is. What we should do is completely destroy the device.
Are back! About that. Well, where should Paimon begin? Traveler, aside from your memories that were just restored, I have another message for you. Listen to it and you'll understand.
What the heck? Why did everything turn yellow?
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sumeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them.
What?
Traveler, you should be missing 2 days worth of memories. Paimon will fill you in.
Huh?
It's time to carry out our plan from yesterday. Okay, let's go!
This is weird. Because only the actual graphics are changed, but the overlay itself isn't. In fact, I'm surprised the overlay is even there to begin with.
Why can't we leave the city? What is the Academia up to now?
Don't ask me. It's not like I can tell you anything. This is a direct order from the Grand Sage. Just wait until tomorrow.
I have a real emergency. My goods have already arrived at Port Ormos. If I don't hurry, they'll be stolen.
That's your problem. Make sure you make a request in advance next time.
But it's not like you can just predict business matters in advance.
It looks like the Academia already announced a lockdown for Sumeru City today. How completely unsurprising. Let's go and question them.
Yeah, here's the thing. They're only guarding this spot. Who's to say that we can't just climb over a wall? Or, you know, get to a high up place and glide out? They don't have flight capabilities. They can't catch us. It's blatantly obvious that we're fast enough to avoid projectiles in the air.
Hello, sir. Why can't we leave the city today?
Here we go again. Don't ask me. I don't know either. We just received an order that no one is allowed to enter or exit Sumeru today. They didn't tell us anything else. Angering me won't get you anywhere. If I had that kind of insider info, I would have left this stupid post long ago.
Well, is that it?
It looks like he really doesn't know. If we can't get anything out of him, let's take matters into our own hands. Why don't we climb over the walls? Those guards can't be everywhere at once.
Obviously.
This is a good spot, and the guard hasn't noticed us at all. Let's hurry! Huh? Why? Are you going to leave Paimon behind? But what if things get really weird out there and you get into some trouble? Then Paimon won't be able to help you.
You typically can't do much to begin with. If I'm in trouble, that means that there isn't much you could do to begin with.
Oh, Paimon knows that Paimon can't do much, but we've always been together, haven't we?
If you're here, you're safe. Because it's a loop. It's merely a simulation.
Okay. Paimon will wait for you. Promise Paimon that you'll come back as soon as possible. Just a quick look. And please, be careful. Ah, memories! Traveler!
Huh?
Paimon thought Paimon would never see you again. You just disappeared. Paimon waited for you for hours and hours at the city wall and you never came back. You promised Paimon that you were only taking a quick look. Paimon, calm down. He's here now. I don't think he understood what you were saying. Paimon doesn't care! Paimon wanted to go look for you, but you also said that Paimon should stay! Paimon was so worried and so scared the entire day! Okay. Paimon will forgive you. The most important thing is that you didn't actually disappear. Oh, Paimon was so scared that you had gone into another world!
So I can get out, but when the timer reaches 0, it resets. But this time, I can't get the memories of it.
Okay. Paimon, can you tell us your perspective of what really happened yesterday? I see. Using two people's different perspectives. After that, you left the city. Paimon kept her eyes on you the whole time, but then you disappeared in an instant. No way! Paimon was watching you with the fullest attention. What's your perspective, Traveler? You sure you don't have any memory of this? I guess that explains everything. You also lost your memories the last 2 times you tried to leave the city. Those days' memories can't be awoken.
Because they never existed.
So, if we leave the city, our memories will be completely erased? It really sounds like something big outside of the city is being hidden on purpose. But this way, we'll also never discover what's outside. Something like a message? But how can we send it back?
Same way we've been getting memories.
Don't look at me like that. I'm not used to being stared at. Well, okay. You want something that can pass on messages, right? Give me some time and take care of Dunyarzad for me. Now we're talking!
So that's what happened.
I'm done. Here you go.
It seems like the time that it sets itself back up to be the beginning of the day is not consistent in the slightest. As before, it was still daylight somewhat, or at sundown. Now it's at midnight.
What? Isn't this just an Akasha terminal? You made some little changes. Akasha terminals are already capable of sending messages. I just tweaked it so that it can connect to any node. To make something like this? Nahida, you really know the Akasha like the back of your hand. Anyway, we can use this now to record a message, right?
Almost as though she developed it.
Yep. I'll help you save the messages. It should be pretty easy to use. I just can't guarantee the user's status and signal coverage when they're outside the city.
Which doesn't really matter considering our current predicament.
We'll never know until we try. At least we're taking the initiative now. Let's go then. Let's expose those sages. All right. Paimon isn't as worried about being separated since it happened once yesterday. But Paimon still isn't happy about it. Okay. See you tomorrow, Traveler. That covers everything that's happened so far. Yes, although the signal was choppy and had some interference, we still managed to receive 2 messages from you when you were outside. Okay, now that you understand what's going on, let's hear the messages together.
Can't go back. There are countless spaces here. Our Sumeru's festival in Sumeru City is just one of them. I've entered another space. Before me are flowing sandstone and howling fish. Impossible and surreal sights.
What?
All these spaces are empty except for the occasional ones that contain mute puppets rather than people. I can't sense any human presence.
They're trying to recreate life. These people are insane. They're really
That's
trying to
one
play God.
heck of an info dump. It sounds like you left the Sumeru city space when you set foot outside of the walls. But everything looked completely normal when Paimon was looking out from the inside. That's unbelievable. And if we take your word for it, the other spaces all had very weird contents.
So as I've suspected, the only way to break through is to overload it.
There's another part here. I only received it last night.
These spaces have been disappearing one after the other, absorbed by something like a sun in the sky.
Oh, that's nice.
And now, even the final space has also disappeared.
How long was I out there?
Behind me, a lot of spaces just appeared again from thin air. I get it now. Those spaces are actually...
And it cut off. Of course it did.
Why did the message end right there? What did the Traveler want to say? What are those spaces?
They're simulations.
Probably because yesterday just happened to end at that moment.
Well, let's do it again.
Oh, right. Paimon did hear a beep from the Akasha. Did it come from here or from the message? The message. It should have come from the Traveler's Akasha terminal. After the beep, Traveler said Even the final space has also disappeared. Traveler, what do you think that final space could have been?
Death? I don't know.
My impression is that each day in this samsara only ends at the sound of that beep from the Akasha. All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common: a lack of human presence. Was that space actually the real world? But wouldn't a real space just randomly disappearing like that be catastrophic?
Yeah.
That doesn't sound right.
And of course it doesn't.
That doesn't
Nor
sound...
does that.
Oh, so that's what it is! After the sound of the beep, the final space, the Sub-Zero's festival, also disappears, and we're taken to the next day! Later on, Traveler also mentioned a bunch of new spaces materializing behind them. Do lots of new spaces appear every day? Paimon's head is spinning. Just what are these spaces anyhow? Well, consider this. For all the horrors of the Archon War, at its heart, it was just a game where a bunch of gods fought over 7 seats. So no matter how strange or spooky things may look on the surface, maybe all they point to in the end is a small and simple secret. Wow, the Archon War, huh? That's an analogy and a half.
If only we had our own Gnosis. Oh wait, I forgot we don't have it. Because it kept getting stolen.
Hey, where are you going?
What, am I gonna have like a mental breakdown in about 2 seconds or something? Gonna go Super Saiyan? I think so far this is like the longest actual like story mission ever. I think they're getting longer as time goes, with the exception of Inazuma. 'Cause that one was short.
Do you want some alone time to think? Alright then, Paimon won't disturb you.
Doesn't seem like alone time to me. The heck is that in the background?
The dance of Sub-Zeros is about to begin. I'm going to go watch it.
Okay. Why don't you go ahead, Dunyarzad? We still have some other stuff to do first.
Okay then. See you later.
Have you figured it out yet, Traveler? Time is ticking away. Awesome! What is it? Paimon wants to know. Oh, wait, no. Let's meet up with Nahida first. You can tell us both together. This time, we're gonna get to the truth.
Now watch, it's gonna beep. So beep right as we get there, or right before we say anything. Come on. Sprint faster. God, I need more stamina.
You're back. I've been waiting forever for you two. Judging by the looks on your faces, Are you ready to take your Sub-Zero's exam and graduate from the festival? Okay. First off, have you discovered the hidden truth?
People in Sumeru don't dream. What a strange phenomenon. Okay, Nahida said the Akasha relies...
That one doesn't do anything.
We've already experienced the All the bizarre spaces I saw outside the city had one thing in common. Those spaces remind me of... dreams. Like the one I had in the Avidia Forest. Except these have no sign of human presence. The moon, illusions, and lies. What do they all mean?
Associate, let's see. Nope.
We are all in a dream. It isn't that the people of Sumeru don't dream. Rather, the Akasha is taking their dreams from them.
Well, then how are we stuck in it?
People in Sumeru think they don't dream, but the truth is the Akasha steals their dreams without them knowing it. And those spaces with no human presence are stolen dreams without their host. That would explain why they sounded so weird when he was trying to describe them.
The question is, why do the children still have theirs?
Huh. So people in Sumeru do dream after all. In fact, we're all in one big dream together right now. Correct answer. Now, how did you conclude that the Akasha is capable of this?
It's not. It's being used as a weapon.
The Akasha relies on the power of a gnosis to operate. And it grants knowledge to the people. It compiles the wisdom of the entire populace. It is the manifestation of the God of Wisdom's power.
That doesn't sound
How
right.
does that not sound right?
I need to... That doesn't sound right.
These are such
That
stupid
doesn't
answers.
sound right.
That makes no sense.
Oh, okay. Those dream-controlling creatures in the forest also get their power from the Dendro Archon, right? That would explain why the Akasha has the ability to control people's dreams, too.
Yes, but it wouldn't be able to keep us in it forever. Like this.
Is stealing everyone's dreams really how the Akasha compiles their wisdom? Isn't there anything more to it than that? Dreams are fantastical, complex, and full of imagination. People's brains are the most active when they're dreaming. In other words, dreams are rich bundles of human wisdom. So in other words, the complete opposite of how Hypatia understood it. Paimon remembers her saying that the sages think dreams are foolish delusions, and the fact that no one dreams is a blessing from Greater Lord Rukkhadevata. So it was all a dirty trick?
Yeah, see, the problem with that is, some people may dream a bit too dangerously.
The real story is that the sages from the academia are using the Akasha to steal people's dreams for their own use, huh? Oh? By the sounds of it, you understand the current situation pretty well. So then, what about the samsara?
Burn it to the ground. It serves us no point. None of this is real, it doesn't matter.
The Grand Sage said, "Go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content." Did he mean something more? We've already experienced the Those spaces kept disappearing, but those dreamscapes kept vanishing. But as soon as that beep sounded, more new spaces appeared. The beep is a prompt.
Associate with this.
I.
Correct. The Akasha is keeping each person's brain in a constant dream state, but also separating their consciousness from their own dream. Their disembodied consciousness is placed inside the collective dream of the Sub-Zero's festival along with everyone else's, while their now vacant dreams are harvested by the Akasha.
Question is, why does it keep looping?
No one is any the wiser as another day passes in the dream, and so begins another samsara cycle. People wake up to yet another dream about the Sub-Zero's festival. The dreams that belong to them are once again harvested by the Akasha, and so it continues.
Yeah, the problem is, I don't think their tech is advanced enough to keep doing this forever.
So, this is like a dream factory, and the Akasha is a dream harvesting machine. Did Paimon get that analogy right?
Which explains why if we remove it, it does not matter. Meaning the only way to fix the problem is to outright override the system.
Very good, Paimon. Using analogies well is an excellent habit to get into.
Okay, so that beep we keep hearing is actually from our real-life Akasha terminals. Taking off our terminals in this dream doesn't do anything.
Alright, last question. Who am I?
I think it's quite obvious.
They say that alchemical divination. Now that I think about it, wasn't illusions a hint that we're all. Now that I think about it, wasn't illusions hinting at the sage's deception of Sumeru's people?
It's like the same exact thing.
So you noticed. I thought that one would be the hardest question. That's why I put it last.
That was the easiest one. Now hold on a minute. You're the god. Why didn't you request assistance? It's not like you're cut off from everyone else like the others. Or at least like Inazuma was for a while. You had no reason to not ask for help at any given point.
That wasn't hard at all. Even Paimon guessed that. Everything about you is different. We just didn't want to expose you is all.
You're just saying that to make others feel better. I knew from the beginning. Or at least had suspicions.
Now that you mention it, Nahida, you've been hinting to us since the very beginning.
Thank God I'm not the only one who noticed.
It's funny. Thinking back to when we were asking all over the place for info about Lesser Lord Kusanali. Paimon didn't expect to meet you like this.
Yes, those can wait until we're back in real life.
The question is, how did you get stuck in here?
On the other hand, I'd be happy to answer any more questions you have about here and now.
How do we break it? In the most glorious way possible, because I kind of want to go out with a bang.
Firstly, this dream we're in is completely based on reality. People have already experienced the Sub-Zero's festival, so it would be very difficult for them to find anything that strikes them as surreal.
Well, clearly it doesn't work on us. Even without the memories being preserved.
Secondly, you're probably wondering why people don't have any memories from earlier samsara, right? That's because people don't remember their dreams most of the time anyway. And in any case, their actual dreams are being taken away from them by the Akasha. So whenever they wake up in this dream of the Sub-Zero's festival, they don't remember anything from their previous identical dream.
That reminds Paimon. Traveler had a dream when we were in the Avidia forest, but couldn't see what it was about after waking up. Is that an example of what you mean?
Yes. Only after receiving the blessing of Dendro can a person gain the Dendro element's dream-enhancing power. That explains the feelings of deja vu.
But that would only affect me, not her.
Meanwhile, everyone else has no idea that they are in the Sabzeruz Festival Samsara, while their dreams are stolen from them over and over again.
Can humans really keep dreaming forever like this? Will it ever end? And if so, when?
Well, unless our physical bodies are being maintained somehow, we're probably gonna just start dropping dead like flies in about maybe like any moment. However, this is like Inception. Time is not moving correctly for us.
We might say your mental fatigue has already answered this question. Eventually, there's only so much that people can tolerate. Especially those whose health is compromised to begin with, like Dunyarzad. This relentless exploitation takes an even harder toll on them.
People's lives are at stake here, and nobody knows a thing! We've got to put a stop to this!
We're not just gonna put a stop to this, we're going to expose them, humiliate them, and then utterly destroy them.
I know, right? Why did they have to base this dream on my birthday? Could it really just be a coincidence?
No, they did this intentionally to be spiteful.
Even you don't know the reason? Wow, now that's strange.
The Academia sages are determined to harvest lots of dreams in a short time, no matter the cost. They have to be up to no good. Unfortunately, I don't know anything about it.
What? They have the Gnosis. The Fatui are everywhere. I've even seen them here. They've been dealing with the Eremites. The Eremites all listen to the Academia. They're harvesting the dreams to make delusions. Now I'm even more inclined to destroy these idiots. They flew too close to the sun and now they're about to get incinerated.
Traveler, do you have any information?
The Grand Sage said, "Go celebrate the birth of that god to your heart's content." Did he mean something more?
Well, clearly he did.
Celebrate the birth of that god? Could it mean?
Yeah, there's only really one thing it could mean.
You asked me this question before. My answer was, it would literally blow your minds.
I knew it from the beginning that it was some kind of fake reality.
Now that you know this is all a dream, this answer should hopefully make more sense. Have you heard the saying, don't wake a sleepwalker? Likewise, if someone suddenly had told you all this instead of you learning it on your own, your notion of reality and dream would be thrown into irreversible confusion. I couldn't expose you to that kind of risk.
I mean, you could have posed it as a hypothetical question. It's not the first time I've had to deal with one of those and not had my mind broken. Maybe just dumbfounded or confused.
That's why I could only give you very subtle hints and some suggestions. Long story short, I'm really sorry I had to keep you guessing.
I mean, you could have pointed me into the right direction a little bit sooner. We are on borrowed time, after all.
Deceiving the people of Sumeru with no regard for their safety. No matter what they're trying to do, this is unforgivable.
I think I know where this is going. Are we gonna smite them?
After we end the Sabzeruz Festival Samsara, we have to look into them.
We're not looking into them. I'm gonna straight up break in and trash the place. Loot anything that they are working on and show it to the public. And then I'm going to bring the other gods into the mix, just to add insult to injury.
How can the sages of the Academia do this behind their Archon's back? This is ridiculous!
Because they have no regard for human life, clearly.
In the end, I'm just the moon. The real sun is long gone.
If that were the case, you would not have a Gnosis to begin with. Once the Archon is dead, the Gnosis is useless. So therefore, if the Gnosis is still active, that means you are the real god. You're not the original, maybe, but you're still the Dendro god at the moment.
A sun and a moon? Nahida's talking in riddles again.
I can't believe you don't understand this. Oh, god dang it.
Oh, we're out of time today.
I'll tell you how to break free of the samsara tomorrow. See you then.
Good morning, Nahida. Wait. Now that Paimon remembers everything, should we instead say good morning, Lesser Lord Kusanali?
Probably not, because they're probably listening.
Hey! What's wrong, Nahida? You don't look too good.
I'm afraid that what you're thinking right now is correct.
Alright. Hands up if you want to go and murder the entire government. If you want to, say aye. Yes.
Did Dunyarzad already disappear? No way. Are we too late?
That's because we were messing around too much.
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness has indeed disappeared. It can no longer endure the constant dream harvesting.
Paimon can't believe it. Wait, so what about that other Dunyarzad? Just what is she? Is she also going to disappear?
She's actually something like a puppet, but not completely.
So we may not be able... We probably can't get the original. But we can potentially bring the clone out.
The real Dunyarzad's consciousness could no longer keep playing her role in this dream.
And that means people are going to get suspicious.
So another Dunyarzad appeared to replace her in the dream. Just like the grass and the trees, that Dunyarzad is just a building block of the dream that helps to keep it going.
So if we were to go missing for an extended amount of time, they would notice, replace us, we show back up. That breaks everything. There can't be two of the same person in the same place at the same time. They would have to make one disappear, and they could not get rid of the original. And removing the other while still in view of others would make it kind of suspicious. Even if there was the erasure.
But personality-wise, she's nothing like the real Dunyarzad.
Puppets are stiff, and can't copy a living person's vitality. After all, they're just there as filler. You know, speaking of which, the old Dunyarzad might not have been too different from a puppet.
Dunyarzad truly believed that she met you within her consciousness, and it was you who inspired her. So you do remember her after all.
Yes. Back then, her family was overly protective of her. No one cared about her personality or thoughts. It was as if she only lived to stall her Elazar. I just gave her a little wisdom so she could look at life in a new way. So that she could be her own person. But even so, she's still... far from it. I'm still a long way off from being a real Archon.
You may be one of the weaker ones, but that doesn't mean that you are any less of an Archon. Their strength isn't what defines them as one. It's the fact that they have a gnosis. or had one, or have any connection to their element that is extremely heightened compared to everyone else.
I couldn't even save her. If I were a competent Archon, I wouldn't have let my most faithful follower die at the Sabzeruz festival with so many regrets.
Oh my god. You can't stop death. You can't bring people back. There is no way around it. It is inevitable. Trust me, I have tried explaining this multiple times to a very stubborn one. It doesn't work that way. It never will, and it never has.
Please don't beat yourself up over it, Nahida. It's the Sage's fault, and theirs alone.
I'm not beating myself up. All I did was to rationally observe the distance between myself and a real Archon.
Well, I mean, if you're thinking of it that way, physically, yes, you look the youngest and are probably on the weaker side, but that doesn't matter as you are literally the god of wisdom, not strength. Like, each of the 7 represent a different thing. One is freedom, one is contracts, the other, their whole thing is eternity, but that really wasn't what they were meant to do. You are wisdom, not power.
Don't be like that, Nahida. Even real Archons are still allowed to be sad.
Yeah, it's blatantly obvious. If you weren't supposed to, you wouldn't have emotions to begin with.
To prevent more tragedies like this, we must end the samsara as soon as possible.
Quick question. Does killing someone in this kill them in real life? Because if not, there's something I would like to do before exiting.
Great, but how do we do that?
Although the Sabzeruz festival dream is under the Akasha's control, only humans can dream. Even the Akasha is unable to create them. That means this dream belongs to a host who created it.
Huh? So, how should we find that person?
I think I know.
Well, if this is someone's dream, then everything here must come from deep within their consciousness.
It's probably me then.
Which means, with the power of imagination, they can change anything in this dream.
Imagination? What do you mean by that?
Lucid dreaming. Ever heard of it?
Imagination means breaking through what you perceive as normal. Like when the server at a tavern brings a plate to you, you'd naturally assume that food is on it. However, if you're the dream's host and you become aware that you're dreaming, when you imagine gold and more on the plate,
It will literally happen. And if you're aware that you can change it, then you basically become a veritable god.
the dream will respond in kind, and the server really will bring you gold and mora. But right now, our host is unaware that this is a dream. No matter how many times they're served, it will always be food.
It's not easy to convince the host of the fact that they are dreaming. We'll have to do some kind of inception stuff.
Find some way to make that person realize that they're dreaming. Usually, once that happens, the person will wake up and the dream samsara will be broken.
Alternatively, we can just do something really stupid in front of the most amount of people.
How are we going to find them, though? If it could be anyone, it'd be like looking for a needle in a haystack. And even if we did find them, how are we supposed to make them realize they're dreaming?
By doing something that could only happen in a dream.
After all, like you said, don't wake a sleepwalker.
It's extremely difficult, yes. But the only ones who can do it are you two. Remember, everything you've achieved up to this point has all been for the sake of finding the host and ending the samsara.
If this is like Inception, you die in the dream, you die in real life, so maybe if the host is someone who is not good and is truly evil, I don't think anyone would really mind if they didn't come back.
As for me, during this time, I'll be out of town.
Out of town? Are you going to that place full of dreams where the Traveler went?
Yes, I want to try something. There must still be a small wisp of possibility.
You're going out there to try to find her, aren't you? I respect that, but I don't know if that's gonna work.
Hurry and go. Dreams are supposed to be fantastical, romantic, and full of pleasant surprises. Unnecessary things like this samsara need to end.
Oh, it's going to end. It's going to end in someone's blood being spilled. And I do not mean that
I'm still a little
in an
upset that
edgy
we've come
way.
this far only for Dunyarzad to... She was such a good person, with such a simple wish. But fate was against her.
Fate wasn't. The world was. Specifically, these idiots who tried to play God. I may not be one myself, but I am not above punishing those who try to be what they aren't.
Yeah. Saving Dunyarzad is what kept us going this whole time.
We may not be able to save her, but we can avenge her. We may not be Avengers, though. Doesn't mean that I'm not strong and terrifying when I want to be.
But we mustn't lose hope, Traveler. Dunyarzad would definitely want to see us save everyone else. So let's break the samsara for her sake.
You're saying that like I wasn't going to regardless.
Paimon's wondering, do you think the sages would get one of their own to be the host of this stream? Feels like it would be easier to control it that way, no?
Unlikely, but there is still the chance. So at some point, if all else fails, we'll do some light interrogation work.
Huh. That's true. Plus, the sages probably weren't counting on there being other factors beyond their control. Like Nahida and us.
Yeah, how did she even end up in here?
So, who do you think the host of the dream is? Oh, that would make sense. Ferris, the Knight of Flowers, is a symbol of the whole Sumeru's festival, right? Pretty core character. Let's go ask him some questions, shall we?
And it can't be Dia, because she's been around us before. She would have figured it out by now. So we really only have 3 other suspects. Milu, Ferris, or one of those academia nerds. I'm hoping it's one of those nerds, because that means I get the chance to beat the snot out of them. Knowing my luck, the game won't let me.
You're back. You left in a hurry last time. Is everything okay?
Everything's fine. Just, it's a little hard to explain. Would you mind taking part in a little experiment with us?
An experiment? That came out of nowhere. I'm listening, though. What do you need me to do?
Could you make a wish?
You want me to make a wish? Is that a new Sub-Zero's festival tradition or something?
No, I'm a traveling magician.
Let's cross
Just
these
do
for
it.
wishing!
Yeah. Less talky, more wishy.
Okay. Okay.
Do it.
My wish. My wish. Okay. I'm a little nervous saying this out loud, but I want Miss Dunyarzad to be happy.
Oh.
Well, the real one's dead, but the puppet isn't.
I noticed earlier that she looked a bit down, and she wasn't really talking to anyone. She just doesn't seem like herself. She's always so gentle and kind, and all the kids love her.
The more people that die, the more obvious it is this is fake. They can't get away with this, even if we can't break out. Eventually, they'll find out.
I've also wondered if the reason she asked me to be Fairest Knight of Flowers is because I'm special to her, or something.
So, you have a crush on Dunyarzad?
Oh, is it that obvious? After what I just said, I guess it is.
Ooh.
When she placed the hat of the Knight of Flowers onto my head, she said to me, "I want everyone to have a happy Sub-Zeru's festival."
I think it's a bit late for that.
What she didn't realize was that I'm not that interested in how everyone else feels. In that moment, I just wanted to be her Knight of Flowers for the rest of my life. 50 years, 100 years, I'll serve her till the end of time. Okay, yeah, that was a bit much. Felt like the right moment to get it off my chest, but that was pretty embarrassing. Okay, I'm ready to make my wish. I would like Miss Dunyarzad to appear in front of me right now with a smile on her face. Here goes.
Please come true.
I'm gonna open my eyes. Oh, you're...
What?
Fucky? Sorry, but only one portion of Yelda candies per person. Back home you go. Nice try, you two. Anyway, never mind. I don't need to see her appear right in front of me. As long as she's happy.
We're gonna need to do a lot better than that, aren't we?
Guess he isn't the host of this dream after all. Should have expected it wouldn't be this easy. It seems like everyone who knows Dunyarzad loves her. But none of them has any idea that she...
My lady, step back.
Maybe that's why.
That sounds like Dia! Oh, right. This is when Dunyarzad bumps into the kidnappers.
I've wanted to deal for myself.
Huh? But Dia can handle them. Hey, Traveler!
Yes, she can. So what? I want to get in on it. I want to fight. I haven't done that in ages. I need to get out my pent-up aggression on something that is not unkillable. I need something that I can physically hit.
Oh, it's you. Great timing. Please take... Hey, this is my job. The homie Yanni's pay me, not you. You... fine, alright. Knock yourself out. Why are you so worked up anyway? It's not like I don't trust your fighting skills. Anyway, watch yourself.
It's them that need to watch their selves. Because they're going to be dealing with someone who hasn't fought in multiple weeks and is full of rage.
So you got yourself some backup. Suit yourself. You're going down.
How stupid.
That's close enough.
Propagate!
Today. What?
I was about to say, watch
Scatter!
him not get hit a single time,
Spring
but then
forth!
immediately get hit twice.
Come on, you coward.
Who said that? Who wants to die next? don't know why we didn't just do this from the beginning. How many times did we do this? Like 50 times? And not a single one of those we managed to actually deal with these guys ourselves. It's no wonder why we couldn't break out sooner. Got him.
Scatter!
She says the finisher. Oh, it didn't actually kill him.
Traveler, were you just taking your anger out on those guys?
It's a little bit of both.
You and Nahida both. Dunyarzad wouldn't want to see you two like this.
Well, that's not gonna stop me from doing it anyway.
Oh, and speaking of her, Paimon just remembered something. Remember how during the first Sub-Zero's festival, before the Samsara started, we came here with Dunyarzad because she wanted to pick something up? She said it was because she had forgotten something. Okay, so Paimon's memory is working so far. Anyway, Paimon also remembers that she is staying somewhere around here. She pointed it out to us the night before the Sub-Zero's festival. Yeah, even if it's only a tiny clue, it'll probably still help us more than this needle in a haystack search.
Probably.
This is the place. It's rude to enter other people's spaces without permission, but desperate times call for desperate measures.
It's a dream. None of this matters.
Hey, the windows are unlocked. Okay, Paimon's gonna take a peek inside.
Just go in for the window and unlock it from the other side. Or that
This
works.
was only a temporary residence, so there was pretty much nothing inside except this book on the table. Should we open it?
There's no point in not doing so.
Wow. Dunyarzad wrote all of this. Sounds like she was always thinking of us even while we were away.
And this makes me even more mad.
Even though she was also busy preparing for the Sub-Zero's festival and had all her health problems to worry about.
This makes me even more worried about Colette, since she has the same problem, and there's no telling if this is affecting anywhere else but the city.
She must have wanted to give this to us as a gift on the day of the Sub-Zero's festival, right? If we hadn't found this book, we never would have known. But now that we know, we can't even thank her.